Hey, what's going on, everyone? Sly here with Flo. And Flo, something that I thought was really interesting is a clip from Mark Schlereth and Nick Wright. Mark Schlereth kind of put Nick Wright in his spot because you know how he has the Mahomes mountain and all that stuff. Before we go into it, man, I just want to say Mark Schlereth, a guy who I actually respect for the simple fact, when I was a teenager, before social media, before Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, he was all over Brett Favre. And so I remember I freaking went on his website, emailed his ass, and I was just saying, man, you're such a fanboy, all this stuff. I was a teenager, guys, don't hate. And he freaking emails me the day after, and he's very respectful. It was a nice letter that he wrote me, and he was explaining himself. And I said, hey, man, I appreciate you. I didn't think you would, because that's when he was on ESPN. And I was like, I appreciate you actually responding to me. And it seemed like after that, he kind of was more harder on Brett Favre, because I was pissed off because Brett Favre would throw all these interceptions, no accountability. The media loved him. He called out his wide receivers. Remember when he didn't want Donald Driver to get paid? I'm like, dude, you don't do that to the media. And after that, he actually called him out. So I kind of respect him. But let's check out this clip about him defending Brock Purdy. We'll talk about it.
Oh, let me show you Patrick Mahomes' numbers this year. He leads the league in yards. He's probably going to finish the year leading the league in passing yards and touchdowns. I would predict that, but we'll see. Right now, he's first in total yards, fifth in pass touchdowns, sixth in completion percentage, and despite the fact that if you listen to all sports media, he has a bunch of guys with feet for hands as his wide receiving group. Seems pretty good. There is Mark Schlereth, Mahomes Mountain, post Week 15.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a couple things about this mountain. One, Jared Goff is playing way better than wherever you have him on the fourth tier. On the fourth tier,
the fifth tier, actually, yeah.
Fifth tier, he's playing way, but clearly, it's pretty. It's pretty clear to me that you have. Yeah, that's a bad pun. That you have.
I liked it.
Thank you. You would like that. But here's the deal. I saw you just put up a graphic with Mahomes, and he was rated sixth in two or three things.
Yeah.
I saw Brew, your esteemed colleague, earlier in the program, put Purdy in there, and he was one or two in every category.
Yeah.
Every single So how can you have Purdy down here on level 4? He should be elevated above Mahomes.
Okay.
Wow. Purdy should be elevated above Mahomes.
Okay.
He's going to be the
Okay, well, let me
All right, man. So hearing that, he said Brock Purdy should be on top. It should be Purdy Mountain, baby. But what do you think about this, man?
Man, I'm just surprised freaking some of the media is actually giving Brock Purdy a little bit of props. I understand Mark Schlereth actually played the game, so usually the guys who actually do give Purdy credit are former players because they actually understand the ins and outs and what the quarterback position means and what it entails to actually be at a high level. So usually most of the guys who hate are the Nick Wrights, the Skip Baylesses, anyone on Fox Sports, man. Yeah. All those guys are gonna be coming after, but none of those guys really played. Like they're bookworms at the end of the day. They don't really understand it all. And as far as Mark Schlereth, this actually gave me a little bit of to see him in a little bit of positive light, because for the most part, I never liked Mark Schlereth. There was only one thing he ever really did that I was like, okay, this guy did good, and I was having hot daughters. And I remember that back in the day. I was like, oh shit, when I was a teenager, I was like, dang, good for this guy. But other than that, this is now number 2. You put my boy Purdy up there in the freaking tier 1 of quarterbacks. I love it, Schlereth. Keep it up.
Yeah, man. Like I said, when I was a teenager, I was so shocked that he actually responded back to me. Like, I was one of those sports dudes. I was 24/7. It was all sports all the time. And I remember emailing him. I'm like, what the? This guy emailed me back. So every time I saw him on TV, I'd always tell the story to people. Oh, dude, this guy's a pretty good guy, even though I ripped him. But I'm glad he responded. But as far as this man, he should be number 1. Like Schlereth said, he's number 1 in all these damn categories. How are you going to put him number 1? I mean, how are you going to put him number 1? They're talking about Nick Wright's talking about, Patrick's number 1, and he's giving all these lists. He's like 5, 6, 7, and all these damn categories, and yet he's number 1. What's that one saying? What have you done for me lately, baby? That's what it's about. It's not about last season, the year before. It's about this season. These awards should not be going like lifetime achievement awards. I hate that, man. Even with the playoffs, Pro Bowls and all that stuff. Come on, let's be real. A lot of these guys that are retiring, especially in the NBA, they get to go to all these Pro Bowls. What do they call for in basketball? The NBA All-Stars. It's like, come on, dude. It's the best players this year. I don't want to hear about what they did last year. Brock Purdy this year, number 1 QBR passer rating, number 2 in passing yards. The guy has number 32 in throwing the damn ball. So it's like he has all these damn stats, but they don't want to give him his flowers. That's all right. But I like how you said a lot of these former players, especially the ones from the Niners, Jerry Rice, Jesse Sapolo, Joe Montana, Steve Young, they all know what's up. Don't have that bias like these other guys do. But I'm just glad that Mark Schlereth, he's on board, even though Mark did say yesterday that he would vote for Christian McCaffrey because he doesn't want to vote for a quarterback. I don't know, something happened with him and John Elway where they hate each other, where he never wants to vote for a quarterback for MVP, which is all right, man. I get it. A lot of people don't like the fact that it's always given to a quarterback. It should be given to someone else, and I hear that. But to tell you the truth, though, what he said, it shouldn't be Mahomes' mountain, baby. Purdy's mountain. That's what it should be. Get it right, Nick. You know what's up.
Yeah, and I think Schlereth, he's promoting McCaffrey because obviously the line, they protect the quarterback, but they're still known for helping out that run game. So I'm pretty sure that's some of his old ties, playing a lineman, and so that's why he probably wants McCaffrey. But like you said, that thing about Brock Purdy, 32 overall in pass attempts, but he's first in all these categories. That just shows how freaking special this guy is, because it's not like he's just out there every play trying to sling the ball like some of these other quarterbacks to get their numbers up. He's just real accurate, precise. He makes every opportunity count, and that's the crazy thing, because man, 32 overall, imagine if he was in the top 10, how much his numbers would be even more inflated.
Yeah, and it's crazy that, Nick, he's always gonna hate the fact that he has Jake Browning in the 3rd tier. It's like, come on, bro. Like, are you kidding me? Like, I get Jake Browning having, won a few games here and there, but dude, he's been doing it for like 2-3 games, and all of a sudden he belongs in tier 3. Like, that just shows you the bias right there. Like, Jake Brown, I liked him out of Washington, right? Because my friend, he always talked about Jake Brown. He's a Washington fan, so he'd always like, oh, Jake Browning this, Jake Browning that, which is good that he's doing his thing. But he did that like in 3 games. Nick Wright and them, they're criticizing Brock Purdy for the 3 games that he did bad, but Jake Brown's only played like 4 games altogether, so it's like, what are you talking about, man? So obviously there's bias out there. No way Jake Brown should be that high. I give him his flowers for doing his thing right now, but come on, he's not putting up the numbers that Brock Purdy's not putting up, man.
And it's funny too, because they also don't bring up the fact that he has a pretty solid receiving corps too. Going into this year, the Bengals had a higher receiving corps ranking than the 49ers, because obviously before Jamar Chase got hurt, they had Jamar Chase, Todd Boyd, who else is out there?
The other dude, what's his name? Gosh, I can't remember.
Higgins.
And Mixon, too.
And Mixon. So he had a pretty good offensive, what's it called, arsenal, too, but they don't bring that up for him, obviously. But with Brock Purdy, that's the first thing you hear about. They're like, well, he has George Kittle out there. They has Deebo Samuel, Ayuk, Christian McCaffrey. That Bengals freaking offensive team, they're stacked, too, but that argument doesn't get brought up for Jake Browning.
And the thing is, Mahomes, he's not having a bad year, but it's not the same as the other years. It's like, oh, why? Okay, now he does, because he doesn't have weapons. Now, here's the thing. He doesn't have weapons, but look at the years that he did have weapons. Obviously, the prime Kelsey, Hill, who were those other guys he had? A whole bunch of other guys. I can't even think of their names right now, but he had so many stacked dudes out there. Even his first year, I think he had Hunt, who had like almost 2,000 yards his first 2 years. So the guy who had so many stacked teams, but he doesn't bring about that. No, it's because Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk. But he has to remember, man, even last year, Deebo Samuel got hurt too, so he's been in and out of the lineup all the time. And even George Kittle too, he's been hurt too, even last year. So, I mean, come on, man. These takes right here are so weak, it's not even funny. So what's that saying, rules for thee but not for me? That's pretty much what we're talking about here. So I mean, it's gonna keep happening. Obviously, Nick Wright, you could get that Mahomes mountain, stick that son of a bitch sideways and stick it straight up your candy. No, I'm getting the rock over here, but yeah, that's how it is, man. It should be Purdy mountain. I don't know, man. Every time I see that, I know it's gonna be some bias going on right now, man.
All right, well, you guys let us know in the comments what you guys think about Mark Schlereth. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. See y'all next time.
Peace.